gentlemen, this contest set for one fall. Yes, for the WWE Championship.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Welcome to Around the Turnbuckle. I'm the Big Alboski. That guy right there is Professor Keith, as always. And joining us is Smooth Tom Mitchell. What's up, man?
Hey, guys. What's going on? Thank you so much for having me. I'm much appreciated. I'm looking forward to this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We are glad to have you. The Professor's camera, sometimes he pops in and out, but he is still there. He can still hear us, and we can still hear him. Before we get started, Professor, before we get started, Tom Mitchell, quick couple announcements. Next Sunday on this channel at 6 p.m., we will have Merrick Miami, so tune in for that. Subscribe, share our videos out, like our videos, subscribe to our channel, and you'll catch all the interviews that we do in the future, and you'll catch all the interviews we've done in the past. Speaking of the past, Tom Mitchell, you are part of the 200th episode of Around the Turnbuckle. And all I want to say to that is thank you to everybody who's ever watched, anybody who's ever commented, anybody who's ever been on here as a guest. From the bottom of my heart and the bottom of the Professor's heart, we thank you. And we are going to keep doing this as much as we can to support independent wrestling and independent wrestlers, managers, referees, ring announcers, commentators, whatever. And if you have never been on this show before, hit me up. All right. I'll see what we got going on the schedule. We are booked for the next 5 or 6 weeks. But tonight we have Smooth Tom Mitchell. We got comments already there, Tom, and that'd be David Motorman, big fan of SWO. Good Sunday evening Around the Turnbuckle. It's time to get smooth with Tom.
I love
David
it.
Hill is here. David, what's up, David? Good evening. So, Tom Mitchell, once upon a time, you fell in love with professional wrestling. When did that happen for you?
Yeah, so for me, I fell in love with professional wrestling. One of my first memories of life, just in general, it was WrestleMania 18. So this shows my age a little bit. WrestleMania 18. It was The Rock versus Hulk Hogan, and all I remember is them just staring at each other and the place going nuts. And now I was 3 years old. I had no idea really what was happening. Couldn't really understand that, but I knew I felt something, and I was just immediately drawn to these two men just having 66,000, how many people were there that night, just absolutely going insane. I was like, that is awesome. And just from that moment, I've been absolutely hooked on wrestling, man.
Well, that was the kind of moment where that would show you that you could really engage the crowd without doing much. You didn't have to do a whole heck of a lot. They basically, like you said, they stared at each other for 5 minutes, and then they looked over this way and over this way, and the crowd was really crazy, and they didn't even lock up yet.
Exactly. Yeah. So I was sitting in my mom's bed when that happened, and I was just something about that where I was just like, wow, just you felt the energy through your TV screen. It was just so surreal, and I was like, yep, sold. I love this already.
Awesome. David Hilt's back. He's like, hope you and Greg win the SWO tag titles. That's right, Greg the Mechanic Manual, and you get a tag title shot on October the 15th in Seven Valleys.
Yeah, man, I'm absolutely pumped for that match. Greg and I, we've been training together for a good while now, and it just happened that they threw us together as a team, and we're a little known to them. We actually have a lot of familiarity with each other, so this it was kind of a happy accident. And yeah, first match we had, it was the Triple Threat Tag, and I thought we had great chemistry just off the bat. So I'm feeling good about this upcoming Saturday, man. just a gauntlet match. You never know if you'll be like first, second, last team, whatever the case is. I keep on fighting and keep on winning.
I see we have the modern technology. Professor has a picture up there, so he actually looks like he's really there.
Yeah, I played with it a little, and I'm like, yeah, I think I can get something up here.
Yeah,
I think my computer's getting towards the last leg, so maybe this Christmas year, if Santa gives me some money or something, I'll see about a laptop, because I've been thinking about it. Things are kind of not working the way they used to, and for the little bit that I can do with it anymore, I'm like, you know what? I could probably just go get a cheap laptop and accomplish the exact same stuff and maybe a little more.
That's a pretty good picture, Professor. That's a good pick.
It is.
Okay. So
keep saying that, Johnny Potter or somebody will show up and have a smart remark about it.
Yeah. You always got to watch out for classic Johnny Potter and his one-liners towards the professor. All right. So you grew up and you started to, maybe get excited, or maybe did you start going to shows, or like, how did you get involved with the independent scene, and how did you get interested in doing, like, actually like getting in the ring and doing any of this?
Yeah. So, I mean, I went to a couple independent shows, but not like when I was like 5 or 6. I really was going to like WWE events whenever they come in, like the Baltimore, Philly market, something like that. But actually, as far as getting involved in independent events, I was a junior in college, and I was talking to my advisor, and he was asking me, "So, you got 2 more years left. Like, what are you gonna do?" I was like, "Hey, I really want to get involved in wrestling. Like WWE was the goal." And he's like, "All right, well, WWE was about a 3-hour drive from my campus." He's like, "See if there's anything more local that you can get involved in, to try to, build up your resume a little bit, get a little bit of experience." So I found this company, Pennsylvania Premier Wrestling, running out of Hazleton at the time.
Yeah.
And so with them, I got in contact with the guy. His name's Scott Fineout. Fans up there know him as Phil Bravado. He was a commentator, and he was the one running their social media, their website, things of that nature. So I just reached out to him, and he actually got me hooked up where I was like writing stories for their website. We did a whole website remodeling, which took forever, but like very proud, like the news site now. So yeah, my first experience actually in wrestling wasn't in the ring, and I had no intent of getting in the ring at first. I was actually just trying to build my resume for college to say like, hey, I remodeled this website. Hey, I'm running this company's social media. Hey, like I'm uploading clips to YouTube, just different stuff like that. And yeah, it's just kind of never been able to leave it ever since, man. I've had just so much fun just meeting all these awesome people, both in the locker room and the fans that come out and support every month at every show I go to.
So where did that transition to you, like actually getting in the ring? Because you mentioned pre-show that you had no intentions of wrestling, and you just repeated that, but like you did eventually become like a ring announcer at one point. When did that happen?
Yeah, so with PPW, they did a joint show of Impact Wrestling about 2 months in when I was there. And at the time, I was really just kind of hanging out at shows, just kind of like showing face. I was writing down notes and stuff to do for stories. And Jimmy Jacobs actually was like, "Hey, we need a backstage announcer for the show tonight." And they asked Scott originally, and Scott's like, "No, we have this young kid. He has a good look. We just don't know what to do with him come show day. We actually think that would be a perfect role for him." So here I am 2 months into the business, about to be on Impact. I'm like, oh my God, this is not how I expected my night to go. They ended up not needing me, but PPW stuck me in that role. So from February 2019 up until the pandemic, and even after the pandemic for a little bit, I was just backstage interviewing places, which eventually transitioned into ring announcing at certain places like SWO. And then as far as actually getting the ring goes, I'd say COVID really just kind of had me bored. I was a college football player like the past 4 years. So I wasn't really planning on getting into the ring just because of how beat up I was. Like my body was aching every day, and I was like, wrestling would be so cool, but I would not be able to survive like a schedule. Like I'm trying to learn how to be a wrestler, then having to go football practice and having games on Saturdays when you're having shows on Saturdays. So I was like, it would just be way too much. But yeah, once COVID really started like being bad and everyone was quarantined, I really got the like thought in my head, like, you know what, like maybe I can actually wrestle. And just talking to like promoters, are all like, oh, I thought you were a wrestler, or just with like your look and your build and things like that. And so I found the local school, and then I started coming to SWO school, started training there, started training with PPW. So I had like a mix of like 3 different schools as far as like learning to actually wrestle, which has been huge for me because I'm able to learn styles from this guy and this guy and that guy. And yeah, it's really helped me kind of be all around like well-rounded with my wrestling. And yeah, I had my debut in May, and yeah, just pretty much ever since I started wrestling, like I had one announcing booking. Other than that, everyone's like, oh, yep, once you as a wrestler now.
Meanwhile, are you still in college?
No, sorry. So I graduated May of 2020. So like right in the middle of COVID. So no ceremony for me or anything like that, which was a little hard. I think it was hard on my mom actually because she didn't get to see me like walk that stage, especially because college ain't cheap. So she's like, how do you get to see that moment of you like actually getting your degree or anything like that? But yeah, college is over now, so yeah, I got a lot more time on my hands, which freed up wrestling as well. That was another big thing.
Yeah, I had that with my middle niece. She graduated high school in 2020, and I missed it. The oldest one didn't do the ceremony, and I was like, well, you're doing it. One of you robbed me, the other one's not. And then COVID stepped in and said, yeah, about that.
Yeah, it was a tough time, man. I know like I had like an identity crisis because it was like I was just so used to being a competitor for 4 years, and then like once football stopped, it was just like, who am I at this point? It was just like I'm just the backstage guy now, and it's like, and don't get me wrong, I was enjoying what I was doing, I was having a lot of fun, but it was like, man, like I need something to like keep pushing me to be the best version of myself possible.
I can see that. I can see what you do in the ring. And like, I've seen a lot, like Keith and I both have seen a lot of your early work here since May, both in SWO and you've had a couple matches now in 3WA as well, where you could see you're definitely putting the work in. You could see you have a high work ethic. You could see you really have a look about you. I really enjoyed your match with Sage Matthews in 3WA, where he called out whoever wants to take him on, and you kind of answered that call, and you came in and you had I thought, an instant classic with him. How did you feel that went with you?
Yeah, that match with Sage, I had a feeling that I was gonna be the one answering the challenge, so I was personally really excited because in SWO, I've been around Sage all the time, so that was something that personally I've been wanting for a while, is to have a match with him. And at first, when I first came out, like the crowd's like, who are you? And I said like, and I'm up next. And I heard someone say like, no, you're not, in the crowd. And I was
some of those people are tough.
Yeah, they're very vocal, they're very passionate, but yeah, they can be tough. But hey, that makes my job even harder, which I love, man. I love being able to like spin things around and be like, all right, like you might be mocking me now, but like in the end, you're like, they all are like respecting me, and like got some Tommy Mitchell chants going. But yeah, that actual match itself was so much fun, man, just because like they were eating up everything I was doing, especially like after like I did a dive to the outside and like a big back body drop, and after that I was like, all right, I really kind of got them now, whereas like they're all behind me and they want to see me shut up the scum dog. So yeah, that was personally definitely like one of my favorite matches I've had so far.
I can see it. I was there for that one. Al missed it, and I was texting him, and that was the first time I saw you, and you come out, and I'm like, oh, this kid Tom Mitchell just came out. He looks like a wrestler. He's got good size to him, white meat baby face, and you start getting in there and working. I'm like, this kid can go, because I knew Sage could go. We've seen Sage enough, and we know Sage is impeccably trained, went to Ohio Valley Wrestling on his own dime and all that. And I'm like, Sage is in there and definitely helping him look like $1 million. But I'm like, this kid's good. He's keeping up with him in there. Obviously you could see that you're green, but I'm a little surprised that you've only been doing it since May, because you're really good at already the little stuff, like being able to connect with the crowd. Like you said, yeah, you came out there, people are like, who are you? They're not sure how to react to you. You stuck to what you were doing. You knew what you needed to go out there and accomplish. And I think about halfway through the match, you had the place rocking and rolling with Sage. Which, I mean, to your benefit, they hate Sage and they hate
exactly.
they hate Dog Nation, so that helps you. But I mean,
But they respect them, though.
yeah, but I mean, you were pulling your weight in there, and it was definitely like I could see where Sage was helping you, but it's like his kid's staying with him though; he's not being carried.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun. Just because, yeah, like you said, like Sage, he's went to Ohio. He's been at Monster Factory. Like he's trained with some like the most like renowned trainers in the world. Like
Yeah.
the guy can go in the ring. Like there's no doubt about that. So just being able to keep up with him, just really, I think it was, I guess, star-making performances is where I want to say with the Triple WA crowd, where they're all like, all right, we want to see this guy more often.
Yeah, Keith is right. I wasn't at that one live, but Keith and I called it on 3WA Carnage. We're the play-by-play and the commentary on 3WA Carnage. So I did see the match, and I, like you said, it was in the beginning. They're like, "Who are you?" And at the end, they're chanting your name, man. So you're doing something right. Okay, you're doing something right. You know. And then we saw you in 3WA tagging up with Trace Parker. You and Trace Parker were nice and smooth, or smooth and nice. I forget which one went first.
It was the first one, nice and smooth.
Nice and smooth. Yeah, and you guys seem to work well together. I remember seeing Trace in SWO as well. But you and Greg seem to really have a really good chemistry, like you said. And I think that you guys have a really great shot, October the 15th in Seven Valleys.
Yeah, well, I mean, you see Greg and Triple WA, and he's television champion. Like, Greg's the guy over there. SWO, like, he's been successful, but like he's never had any championships. And I'm just starting out, and I've never had championships. My first match was with Tim Rush in SWO, like for the live championship at the time. Excuse me.
Right, the live championship.
And so after that, just been building myself back up. But this pairing with Greg, man, yeah, I'm very excited for, because Greg's another dude, works hard. The crowd like absolutely loves him. He hits hard too, which I respect a lot. So he's a guy I'm like, yeah, man, like I'm looking forward to teaming up with him. Like I think this could be like a lot of fun. So even though it was like a little bit thrown together at first, I'm just like, dude, like we can do something with this. I was like, we can win some gold, man. Like this is almost like a happy accident of sorts.
Yeah, there's definitely a chemistry there. I've only seen you guys at the one show, and it was a multi-man match, but I think that the fact that even in that you can see the chemistry there really bespeaks to you guys do have something. There's just some guys that kind of complement each other, kind of a peanut butter and jelly effect, and I think you guys have that. Probably because from knowing Greg and now talking to you, I can kind of see some similarity in your personalities. So I think that's where it comes from.
Yeah, outside of the ring, Greg is a very good dude. And we talk a bunch. Like we train together and things like that, as I mentioned earlier. So yeah, it's been, I don't want to say it's been easy, because nothing in wrestling is easy, but it's been a lot smoother. Part of my pun there, getting the tag with Greg than it has been. I've had other partners and stuff before, but Greg and I just kind of clicked right away, where we had ideas that we've been bouncing off each other as far as moves go, and just different stuff for entrances. And it's been just very open dialogue, and I've been loving it.
Before we talk about some of your opponents in that match, I got another comment here by David Motorman, who says, "Nice to see the professor inside that pulsing globe. Progress." And Tom's the man.
Or figure out what's going on with this rotten camera.
So let's talk about, first and foremost, the SWO Tag Team Champions, Praise Me Practice, Ace Dallas and Vicious Van Val. Your thoughts on those guys?
I think they deserve your respect, just based off their lineage. Both former SWO champions, current tag team champions. They've been friends, they've been enemies. These guys have done it all with and against each other in SWO. So first of all, you have to give them their respect. The things they did against Dog Nation in Seven Valleys really rubbed me the wrong way, though, because it didn't need to get to that point, in my opinion. They're having an incredible match. Like, it was one of the best matches I've seen in SWO. Their tag team match, I believe at Summer Series, I want to say.
Yeah.
And then Low Blow, I believe Sage. And after that, man, like you just even the way like they're walking around backstage and whatnot, like they're just kind of carrying themselves like, we're the team that broke up Dog Nation. But so yeah, I'm over them, man. I think that they need to be shut up a little bit. And I was unfortunately with Greg wasn't able to get the job done last month. But I'm feeling good. You know, we got another month of chemistry, another month working out, hitting the gym, and just getting our minds right.
And being able to study that tape, right? Sit back and look at what they're doing, figure out where the chinks in the armor are and all that stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, they're both bigger men than both Greg and I. So, but we have a lot more speed in them, so we got to really use that to our advantage. But also, yeah, it's just kind of bob and weaving, like don't get stuck in Van Valley's grip, or else your night might be over.
God, no, yeah.
Right.
Don't be in the ground when Van Valley's in the area, or else you're getting splashed through the ring. Just things like that, man. I've been watching that. I'm gonna try to avoid and just kind of do my thing. Come this Saturday.
So there are 4 other tag teams involved there. Let's talk about Gummy Boar. Your thoughts on them?
Yeah. So Erica Lee and Gummy Boar. Erica Lee is regarded as one of the best female wrestlers in the world. Best wrestlers in the world, regardless of whether it's male or female. PWI 500.
Yep.
I want to say she was like in the top 200 too, as well. Like she was up there.
Yeah.
So impressive.
Yeah. Watching her wrestle is very impressive. The crowd absolutely loves her. And Boar is a big dude, man. And that's a hoss of a man, or Boar, whatever he is. Regardless, they complement each other very well. And yeah, they're gonna be dangerous, Gauntlet. But I'm very excited to mix up with them because I'm a taller guy myself. I don't know if I'm quite Boar tall, but I guess if we face to face, man, I guess we'll see exactly how I stack up to him, and if I can keep up Erica, and if I can match strength with Boar.
Now I have to ask psychologically, because I mean, yes, you know, she's in there. She's a competitor, same as anyone else. But I would imagine you were raised similar to how I was, of you treat women with respect. You don't hit a woman. Do you think there's anything where if you're standing across the ring from her, there's going to be any slight hesitation in the back of your mind, like, this is not what I should be doing? And she's going to take advantage of that if that happens. Is that something that's worrying you or worrying Greg?
Well, you see that I'm glad you brought that up because I've never been in the ring with a woman, so I've never really had that experience yet. So just the kind of way I'm thinking it's going to go down is I feel like I am going to be hesitant, but Erica slaps hard and hits hard.
She does.
I was going to say it might be one of those cases of it's going to be a problem until she smacks you in the mouth, and then you're going to forget about it a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Then I'll see red if I get smacked in the mouth, and but
she's also not the only female in that match.
She is not. No. So
the outfielders.
Yeah, with Shay McCoy and Weber Hatfield. So I think it'll be a little bit of a I don't want to say a shock at first, but it's just more like, all right, what can I do? Like, you know, I don't want to hurt her. Obviously, that, but yeah, she's, like I said, one of the best wrestlers in the world today. So I think that she would be more than happy to smack me around.
Kudos to her for making the PWI 500. That's pretty
absolutely
cool.
Yeah, phenomenal talent for sure. Like I said,
all right, so there's 2 more teams to talk about, Tom, and that's Next Gen.
Yeah, Next Gen, Simon Rhyme and Trent Farrell. They've been around forever, man. With Ken, you know, we really don't see Simon as much in SWO, but I mean, their history speaks for themselves. Trent, former champion. I believe they were tag team champions before. So, you know, they're two guys who've done a bunch in SWO. And yeah, like you can't take them lightly. I know they haven't been around quite as often, but they're guys who have the resume of one of the best teams ever in SWO, to be honest with you.
And the last team we need to talk about is Tommy Vex and Alex Cross.
Yes, the Vex Express, man. First of all, Tommy's been through a lot as of late with his girl, the whole Big Dust situation.
We got a casket match that night.
Yeah, I think Till Death Do Us Part is what they are calling it. Which I love, by the way. I love just that name. But
that
yeah,
whole thing's been great. Seriously.
Oh, yeah, it's literally been like one of the feuds of the years in the Indies, if you ask me, or just stories of the year, because it didn't start out as a feud. It started out as a little love triangle.
Yeah,
but yeah, Tommy Vex, he's someone I was first starting out with. I actually had a practice match with. So I've been in the ring just in front of the crowd with him. And Alex Cross, he was one of the guys the first day I came to SWO who was actually really nice to me, which kind of surprised me because he was, just drinking the beer and just kind of being anti-social.
Right, he kind of looks like a dude that you just want to like hang out with, have a beer, right? He's like,
yeah, exactly,
just hanging there by himself and having a beer, and I'm here, I'm having a good time.
Yeah, but I know he has that mean streak in him, man. I remember that.
Yeah.
That promo with Alan Clayball after Clayball won the championship where he smashed the beer bottle over his head. So, I know he has that side in him, but
don't tick him off, right?
Exactly, man. I just have a good, clean wrestling match. Don't do anything dirty because the great dude now. Like he still has, he still has that mean streak in him. Like that doesn't go away, no matter whether you're loved or hated.
So yeah, if you guys want to check out that big SWO Tag Team Gauntlet Championship match featuring Tommy Mitchell here and Greg Mechanic Manuel teaming up against those other 5 teams we just talked about, get your tickets. Go to SWO and get your tickets. You can get them through Venmo. You can reserve your seats for that $20 a ticket in Seven Valleys. Saturday 10:15. Saturday October the 15th. Bell time is usually what, like 6?
7 usually.
7. Yeah, 7. Doors open at 6. Bell time 7. So get your tickets for that. That's Who You Gonna Brawl, featuring that tag team title match, featuring a casket match between Big Dust and Mary Elizabeth, a ladder match for control of ownership of SWO between Ken Andrews and Wolfman, and the SWO Unlimited Championship defended by Alan Clayball, and the challenger is Merrick Miami. So you get your tickets. That's going to be a heck of an event from top to bottom. SWO always throws on a good show, right, Professor?
Absolutely, they do. I've only been to one so far, but it was a great show. Everybody works hard. Right? Huh?
You're hooked.
Yeah, and I mean, Wolf keeps pressuring me whenever I call into, inside the squared circle every Wednesday. Like, when you coming back? When you coming back? You coming back, right?
It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a great one. Some other matches on the card I just want to mention so I don't leave anybody out. The SWO Uprising champion, Benny Slater, the new Uprising champion, A.K. Willis, defends against the former champion, Benny Slater, and Tim Rush and Trace Parker in a tag match against Beauty and the Beast Slayer. Those are the booked matches so far. So, I mean, you never know. Card subject to change, but October the 15th, Saturday night, it's going to be rocking, and this guy's going to be part of it right here.
Absolutely. It's going to be a great time, dress up in costume. I believe that.
I forgot about that. Thank you for saying that.
Yep.
There's a costume contest. First prize, a $50 Amazon gift card. So there you go. Professor, what are you dressing up as?
Oh, I don't know. I need to get out to the Halloween store. I need to think. I mean, worst comes to worst, I still got my old standby Freddy Krueger costume in the closet.
Right. Oh, I forgot another match on that card is Rob Radke versus Prince Piranha. He's your favorite, right, Keith?
Piranha is one of my favorites. Yeah,
Piranha. Yeah.
Piranha always hits me up.
So you had to mention classic Johnny Potter's name, Professor.
I did, and he appeared, didn't he?
Yeah, he did appear, as does happen when you mention his name, and that is someone mentioned the joy of not seeing the Professor before I did. LOL.
I'm sure he feels very bad that he wasn't first.
Yes, David Hill. It's going to be awesome show Saturday. Absolutely, David. We can't wait. It's going to be fun. Good time. Professor can dress like his favorite person, me.
I could do that.
I'd pay to see that, Johnny. I'd pay to see Professor dressed up as classic Johnny Potter. All right. Gonna be a good time. That's the Halloween show. Dress up, kids, dress up, have a good time. Maybe win yourself a gift card, and then you see these guys wrestle in SWO. So let's talk about a little bit about what comes next for you, because I mean I know you got this big event on the 15th, but I mean, are you looking to stretch yourself out and be booked in other places than just like SWO and 3WA? Are you looking to branch out a little bit, or are you happy just what you're doing, or you still got that goal in the back of your mind of doing this for a living?
Yeah, so right now, consistently it's SWO, WWA, and PPW. I'm there as well every month. But I am looking to branch out. I want to. A couple of my goals are wrestle in New Jersey. I have yet to do that, but I've always heard about some great venues over in that state. And so,
Titan's a good one. Titan Championship
yes,
Wrestling over there. That's a
so
good one.
tag with Johnny Moran in PPW, and he was their heavyweight champion not too long ago. So
He was.
yeah, he said he's gonna put a word in for me there. So you might be seeing me in Titan, but who knows? That's TBD. There's a lot to figure out still. But yeah, it's just right now it's all about kind of getting my reps in, for lack of a better way to say it, where I'm just constantly just trying to wrestle as much as I can and wrestle everyone. So I kind of get a feel for everyone in that ring and just see how I can succeed, and see like what's best for me, and like just try to make myself the biggest star possible in the eyes of the fans, because without them, I'm nothing. So I'm just right now really just trying to establish myself among those three fan bases, and each one's different, which is the cool part about every fan base. Every fan base has their own like uniqueness about them. You said WWA was a tougher crowd. PPW, they've known me for a while just from my backstage stuff, and FWO, I had a lot of local fans there that come out and support me. So that made things a lot easier for me starting out. But yeah, just I'm definitely open to going wherever as far as wrestling goes, and hoping that like it can take me somewhere. I've had some talks about going overseas, but nothing's finalized yet.
Cool.
Talks about going to Texas, but like I said, it's just all speculation. There's a lot of talking in wrestling, but until something actually happens.
How much do you pay attention to TV now? Do you still watch WWE? Do you pay attention to AEW or any of that stuff? Or do you is there anybody that influences you that currently works for either one of those two companies?
Yeah, so I would say I've grown up a WWE guy. I'm really liking what AEW is doing, don't get me wrong. But my roots are with WWE. So two guys who I've really been inspired by have been Seth Rollins and AJ Styles as far
Good
as
choices.
in-ring work goes. Because there's guys like Ricochet who are just like, phenomenal athletes, stuff like that. But it's like, I can never pull out the moves he can.
Yeah, but
so,
you are agile for your height, though, man. You're a big dude that you can. Some of the stuff that you do, we were shocked and excited that you could do those things.
Yeah, so it was like, I'm not gonna lie, like I said, I played college ball and stuff like that. So like I know I have athleticism in me, but like I said, guys like Ricochet where they're just flipping all over the ring and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, maybe I'm not doing that, but I can do like Styles level flips or Rollins level flips, things like that. But more importantly, learn from them like how like psychology, like why they do things in the match.
Right.
So those are probably two biggest guys that I've been watching tape on. So I mean, there's been some others, but as far as like, in my opinion, the best wrestlers in the world right now to learn from, those are my two I got going.
And you're barking up the professor's tree by saying you're more interested in psychology and things like that versus, how many moves you can pull off during a match. Right, Professor?
Oh, psychology is going to save you all the time. Psychology is what draws money, and it's going to save your body, and you're going to be able to do this for a long, long time if you know how to get the crowd interested in what you're doing versus going, I got to do 5 or 6 flashy things right in a row or I'm going to lose them.
Yeah, and I think it's a fine balance because doing cool stuff is cool, but like you also got to ask yourself the question, all right, why did I do this? Like, was it necessary to do this flashy thing, or can I just put him down in a more simple way? Just
Yep.
just little things like that. Like you said, prolongs your career and your body, and just keeps the crowd interested without you having to do 5,000 flips or anything like that.
Exactly. Exactly, dude. Keep that mindset, okay? Just keep that mindset, because then your career will go a lot longer than most.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to do this for a long time, so I don't want to burn out after 3-4 years or something like that, because my body's too sore because I've done too many
Yeah.
crazy things.
So, I normally we talk about some of your best matches, but since you've only been doing it since May, really, we already talked about you versus Sage, which I feel is, if that's not your best match so far, it's one of them. Let's talk about your in WWE. Like you say, you're a WWE guy, okay? So I'm interested to know, if I gave you the question, like if I told you to fill in the blank, the best WWE match you ever saw was, what would that blank be?
This nostalgia could tell me The Rock versus Hogan. As I mentioned earlier in the show, because that was a match that made me fall in love with wrestling. If we're not gonna go that match, something about John Cena versus CM Punk, Money in the Bank 2011. I would say that's the first one that comes to mind, because I'm all about like just like the electricity of the crowd, because the crowd makes up so much of a match. You can have the best match, but if nobody cares, it's not the same. But that crowd in Chicago that night was going crazy, man. So yeah, I just think that one, and it was a phenomenal match, of course. That's one that comes right to mind. I grew up kind of in like Ruthless Aggression, like PG era, things like that. But yeah, I'd say if I had to choose one, I'd probably, well, if I had to choose two, I'd probably pick one of those two. But
you remind me of him, and I'm not saying that to blow smoke or anything. You remind me of a young John Cena in some of your move sets. Maybe you're not as big as he was, but you could get there, and body wise.
Mhm.
And but you like some of your move sets, some of your mannerisms, some of the things you say, and that's why I asked you that question, because I was interested to see if his name would come up as an influence, because some of your generation obviously grew up with him being the man. Like he was the man from basically 2002 to 5-7 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So so that you do remind me of him in a lot of ways. A young John Cena when he first started, when Kurt Angle called him out and he came up and he said ruthless aggression and slapped him in the face, and then he's in the back and the Undertaker shakes his hand and said, "Good job, kid." I can see that kind of moment happening for you.
Yeah, I mean, I believe you guys made a call on commentary during the Carnage match. Well, first of all, thank you for that. That's a very, very high
you're welcome.
compliment. But yeah, during the Carnage match, I think you guys even mentioned like it was like Angle and Cena when Cena had his debut. And watching it back, I was like, wow, that like there are a lot of similarities between the two.
Yeah, there
Art
are a lot of
imitates life,
parallels
man.
there that jumped out.
Yeah,
Art imitates life.
absolutely. And just little different result. Angle won that match, but I was able to beat Sage.
Yes.
But yeah, he did get me the next month though in the tag match, nice and smooth. But yeah, John Cena, man, he's been the guy. At first, it was like, oh, I was a cool kid, like I didn't like John Cena, but just the older guy, like this guy's been doing it for so well for so long. Like his whole Open Challenge run, especially for me, I was like, yeah, he's one of the best of all time. Like he's had a great match, like that entire Open Challenge with everybody, like Sami Zayn, the little few of Kevin Owens, Cesaro, Xavier Woods, like all phenomenal matches. And so, yeah, he's definitely someone who I think doesn't get as much credit as he truly deserves, which is insane because he was on top for 15 years.
I think a lot of the problem I always said was the booking. Was there was shoving him down people's throats and doing things that you just can't do, like I always say, and this is something I've noticed you're good at. The babyface has to be in peril. You have to believe that the babyface is in trouble and that the heel could beat him. And a lot of times, the way they would book Cena is they would book him into situations where you would go into a match and be like, he's not in trouble. I don't believe for a minute that that guy is going to give him any sort of a hard time, and then you would be proven right. And that's the power of the pencil versus anything John Cena was doing, because John Cena was, okay, I got to go in there and I got to do what they tell me to do. That's the pencil, and that's the laying everything out and just not following the formula of what the business is supposed to be.
Yeah, so I think, like you said, it's the power of the pencil, man, because John got himself to the point where like it was like it's gonna take a lot to beat me. Both he and Curry have gotten to that point, but there wasn't enough formidable challengers after a while to realistically be like, hey, I think that guy can knock off John Cena tonight. Like I hope he doesn't, but like John Cena might be in trouble.
I gotta buy a ticket and make sure I'm there. He might need me.
Yeah, like especially like some like the smaller pay-per-views where it's just like, oh wow, like all right, John's facing, I don't even know, JBL or something tonight. Like it was like it just didn't seem like a huge like all right, like I don't need to buy this pay-per-view. I don't think JBL is taking it. But I think that started shifting though that SummerSlam 2013-2014 match with Brock Lesnar, where he just got absolutely just destroyed for like 15 minutes, like 17 Germans or whatever it was. So I think after that, it was like one of the better things that happened for his career, because it's like, wow, this guy isn't invincible. And because of that, Brock Lesnar got launched to the stratosphere.
Right. So, man, what do you think? Where do you think you'll be in 5 years? Or not maybe where do you think you'll be, where you want to be in 5 years?
In 5 years, I would like to do an overseas tour. I like the UK style of wrestling, so I'm hoping to be there. I would like to have wrestled at least in 10 states at that point.
Wow.
And so I wanted to definitely make my rounds, things like that. And yeah, I mean, being signed would be amazing, but realistically, there's 30,000 independent wrestlers right now. And of those, maybe 300, 400 are signed. Right. So I know, like, it's like same thing I had when I was playing college ball. It's like, yeah, like only 5% of kids from high school play college football, but of those, like 5%, only 3% of them make the NFL.
Right.
So I'm very, very realistic with myself, where I know I have a ton of work if I ever wanted to get to that point. But I know, I've seen people already in wrestling go get signed from my backstage days, a couple of my wrestling days already too. So like I know like kind of like what you gotta do to get to that point, but it's on me to put the work in and just continue to improve myself, my character, and just perform to the point where people like want to pay to see me and become more of an attraction.
There you go. I wish everybody would give that answer, because that is realistic. It's clear-eyed. I like the European style too, and I think that's a great goal to shoot for, because I don't hear too many guys saying that they want to go to England, saying that they want to learn European style. So I feel like that's a great thing for you to have, because it maybe gives you more of a niche and something that you can offer that not everybody else has, which, I mean, not just wrestling, anything, any career, any vocation. If you're the guy that has something that the other guy doesn't have, you look a little more attractive now.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's definitely kind of what I'm trying to do. Japan would be cool as well, but I'm not like some guys where Japan was like the end. Like some people are like, oh, all I want to do in my career is wrestle in Japan. Like,
right.
You know, I have a lot of respect for strong style, but just something about like UK and just Western European style wrestling that just kind of drew me more. Like the more I explore like indies and things of that nature.
I
I
think
love.
it's on the come up. I really do, because of people like Gunther,
Hmm.
people like
Yeah.
Butch, Pete Dunne. I think you're seeing it with Sheamus and Drew McIntyre now, kind of getting that second wind and that second look at this stage of their career. I think the European style is definitely going to be something that's going to be on the rise, and it's gonna probably start being looked at, and maybe I say give it 5 years, if 5 years even. And I think people are going to start looking at that like they look at Japan and being like, oh, I want to go. So I think guys like you that are saying, I want to do it now while it's still starting to build before it's right there, you're going to be the guys that are in at the ground floor of that.
Right. Yeah. So, I like I said, I absolutely love to. I mean, just if a promotion like wants to like book me to like travel overseas, like I'd like that. I think that just is like the coolest thing to be like, hey, like we want to fly you, like we want to see you like that badly, like here on the other side of the lake, just
Yeah.
to wrestle, just for 10, 15 minutes of just wrestling, whatever long, man. So yeah, it's
Dude, you're
cool.
dude, you're wise beyond your years. You realize
He
that?
is.
I mean, I appreciate that, man. Seriously,
Because because we interview so many wrestlers, and usually the answers are similar. And what we're hearing out of you is that you're not ready, and you might not even be ready in 5 years. But in those 5 years, you want to be booked in at least 10 states. You want to go overseas to the UK and learn their style. You want to just keep adding to your repertoire so that when the time is right, we might see you in NXT or something. You know what I'm saying? Like you've got this like crazy plan that most guys don't even think that far ahead.
But that's the thing. It's not a crazy plan. I mean, it's one of
No,
the
I
most
didn't mean to say
yeah.
crazy. I'm saying
It's one of the
you got
most
this great plan. I didn't
yeah.
mean
It's
to
one of
say
the most
crazy.
rational, point by point. I mean, I wish I heard more guys that were at the stage you're at, because we've talked to a few people that are kind of at the stage where you are, that they're just getting their feet wet, they're just starting to put it together, and they're looking at it more like, well, I'm just whatever comes my way,
Right.
and I'm look like like, no, I'll take what comes my way, but I want to do X, I want to do Y, I want to do Z, I want to get here, I want to get there. And I mean, you got a 5 year plan, and that's great, because the
That's
first 5 years, that's your time to learn and figure it out. So
That's called
that
goal driven.
yeah, because then you're in your prime. About 5 years in, you're just starting to really put it together by that point, most guys, and then it's time to go and make that money.
yeah, exactly. Like most wrestlers you see on TV are in their mid-30s or so,
Right.
Mhm.
mid-30s,
Yep.
early 40s. So I'm like, I know that AOE, for example, is getting younger, but they are also like a lot of guys are like, hey, I'm gonna do 15 years on the indies, whatever it is. Like I'm gonna just make it to the point where like people like I said, like you become an attraction to people. Like people are like, oh, Tom Mitchell's on the card. Like I have to go see it. Like I want to get to that point, man. But it doesn't happen by just sticking to what you know and having like the same match every time. Like you gotta be able to expand and
Right.
grow your arsenal. And so like I said, like learn different styles. Even like wrestling down south is different than wrestling in PA, for example, like that.
Oh, absolutely.
I did a show in West Virginia, and like that crowd there is way different than like any crowd I've had in PA. So just things like that, man. Whereas like that's why I just want to keep growing, building, and see where like these next 5 years take me, because I definitely have some goals, and I want to like look back in 5 years and be like, okay, yeah, I got this accomplished. That was awesome. Or like, hey, like why did this not work out for me? So yeah, just trying to see like where that goes from there, man.
Well, to be
Yeah,
honest with
chasing
you,
it.
to be honest with you, brother, I'm glad we booked this interview now, because the way you're going, I have a feeling that we're going to end up having to pay you to, in 5 years. And that's awesome. That's great and refreshing to hear. You are a really good young talent, and we hope to see as much of you as we can in SWO and 3WA before you disappear over to England or something. And and then come back on television. Man, we wish you nothing but the best, man. And you just keep doing what you're doing, keep getting better. Professor, I don't know if I could say it any better than you. Did we lose him?
No, I'm still here. I didn't know you were. I didn't know you were queuing me up.
I was
thought you were
queuing
just
you. I
gonna.
was like, Professor,
Yeah.
I can't. I don't know if I could say it any better than you as far as what I just said. But
Yeah, I mean, you got the package. Like I say, you're good. You've got that it. You've got that something, and you clearly have an aptitude for this. And like I said, I love that you have a plan. I love that you have steps in that plan. There's things you want to pick up. You know you need to get around the country. You know you need to get around the world. You know you need to pick things up if you're gonna, be the performer that moves up to the next level instead of just somebody that, hey, I'm happy to be here, happy to be doing this on the weekends. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I know a bunch of guys that great guys. That's what they love. That's what they did. Some of them made a choice to do that, said, hey, I had other things in my life I needed to do. But if this is what you want and you want to do it at a high level, I think you've got the plan to get it done.
Appreciate that, Professor, man. Yeah. Like I said, I know there's a lot of work that needs to be done, but I'm ready and willing to do it just in due time.
all right, man. I got one more. two more questions for you, and we're gonna wrap this up. And that is the first one is, if you can book yourself in a dream match with anybody, who would that be and why?
Dream match on the independents or dream match like anything?
Either or both.
Independent wise, man.
Well, you have to make sure it's somebody you've never taken on before.
Yeah. Sage was someone I wanted to wrestle, so I'm glad I got that match in Triple WA. Man, I don't know if you guys know Bro Keller and Action Andretti.
Oh, Bro Keller, yes. He was on was he on Raw or SmackDown?
Yep, he was on Raw. Yep.
He's on Raw.
And Action Andretti, he's a guy who's been on AEW a few times. I've heard there's a lot of buzz going on right now about the match he had with QT Marshall on Friday.
Yeah.
That's got to air on Dark on Tuesday. So if I could have a triple threat with those two, and because they're two guys who also live locally to me, who I've been watching their progress and stuff like that. I'm like they're doing a lot of the steps that I want to get to. Like you said, Bro was on Raw. They've both been on Dark and Dark Elevation.
Yeah.
So I think a triple threat with us, and they're both so crazy athletic, man. Like, my God, that'd be a fun match. But WWE wise, I'd say, I guess I'd have to say John Cena, like a prime John Cena, just because I think he is my greatest of all time. So I watch Styles, I watch Rollins now, and both of them have had phenomenal matches with Cena. So I think that'd be something that would be really, really cool. Especially because John's my mom's favorite wrestler, and so she could enjoy that match a lot.
That'd be awesome, man. Yeah, you maybe someday you might have that Hulk Hogan Rock moment where it's you and Cena in the ring. You know what I'm saying? Like, that'd be cool. That'd be really freaking cool.
Oh, that'd be awesome. But yeah, man, I got a lot to do to get to that point before it's
right. You got work to do, but you have the plan. You have the game plan. You got, you know what I mean? And I have no doubt you're gonna make whatever you want out of this business.
Yeah, man. You mentioned being goal driven. I think that you have to set goals for yourself, so realistically you can look and see why you succeed or why you fail. If you're just like, oh, I'll see where life takes me, sort of deal. That's great, but how would you consider success or failure? Is the way I look at it. Was it successful because you went to one out of state show, or wrestled on one state? If you were like, oh, I want to get to the WWE or AEW, realistically, they're not looking at only being in like guys who only do one show a month or anything like that. They're looking for guys who are all over, who are putting the work in, paying their dues. Yep. So that's why I'm very boom 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 when it comes to my goals, man, because I know I got set tangible expectations for myself, and then I'll be able to assess and reevaluate and kind of figure out why I succeeded or failed.
There you go.
Awesome, man. And my last question is, we like to, at the very end, flip the script. You interview us. Is there anything you want to ask me or the professor or both?
So first of all, congrats on 200 episodes, guys. That's a
Thank you.
I meant to tell you that earlier in the show. But I want to ask you guys, what was your favorite interview? I'll ask you guys individually. Al, I guess we'll start with you. What was your favorite interview you've ever done on the show, or favorite episode in general? Because I know not every episode has been an interview.
Well, I have a favorite episode and I have a favorite interview. Those are two different things.
All right, I want both, man.
So my favorite interview was when we interviewed Hall of Famer Stevie Ray.
Okay.
From Harlem Heat.
Yeah.
And my favorite episode was when we did a Royal Rumble special where the professor and I had several individuals from the independent scene do a promo rumble where they shooted promos against each other. And then we had 3 judges. The professor was one of the judges, and there was 2 promoters, me, Mark Mest, and Rob Noxious, and they were the judges. And the judges decided who won. And if you beat your opponent, they were eliminated, and we brought up the next person, just like a Royal Rumble.
Oh, that's awesome.
and at the end, I believe it was Adrian Bliss that won that promo Rumble. But that was a really fun episode that I hope the professor and I revisit that come January.
Yeah, that's
but those are my answers: Stevie Ray and the promo Rumble. Professor, you have answers to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the promo Rumble was one of my favorite shows we ever did overall because it was just something really fun, and I think everybody had a good time. And everybody, when I still bring it up to them, everybody kind of has a smile that was in it and was like, "Oh yeah, that was fun." I have a few sentimental favorites. I mean, like Al said, it's crazy that we talked to, Stevie Ray. That's one of those, like, you never think you're going to talk to somebody of that caliber. Rudy Gonzalez, being able to talk to Rudy Boy Gonzalez and get territory stories about Joe working for Joe Blanchard and stuff like that. I love the history of the business. And, it's just so colorful and interesting. All these, characters and whatnot. That's why I really encourage people, if you have even a little bit of an interest in that kind of stuff, start watching the Tales from the Territory show on Vice. It just started. And I mean, there's some great, unbelievable stuff on there already. They covered Memphis.
Yeah.
Crazy
I want to check that out. Yeah.
Crazy stories from Memphis. I think in terms of an interview where if somebody were to say, like, hold up your best work and show it to somebody, I think it's the interview where we got JT Cage to break kayfabe, because we've gotten to know JT so well, and it was comfort, but it was also, I think we asked him the right questions. It wasn't just like, oh, let's hang out and, put each other over and all be friends and whatnot. I think we really got him to open up, and I think there were things that were said in there that people can look at and digest that as like, oh, that's something I could use to put a match together. Oh, that's really good psychology. Like, there's things you can take from that kind of become a little bit of a how-to manual. So there's the sentimental favorites, but if you were asking me, like, what is the best work and what is the one that if I were to go to somebody and they were like, we want to pay you to do this, show me one interview where I should give you money for this, I think that's the one I would play for them.
And of course, happy 200th episode. Yes, the real JT Cage was my favorite. There you go, David. Great show. Tom got the plan. I'm honored to witness his progress.
Appreciate it.
All right, man, we're going to get out of here. Thank you for those questions. They were good questions. Professor, I'm surprised you didn't mention the cameo by Leapin' Lenny Poffo, the genius.
Well, that wasn't exactly an interview. I know. I mean, he couldn't pick me out of a police lineup. I mean,
I know, but it was. I know. I'm kidding. But anyway,
no, but that was very nice.
Tom, don't go anywhere when we go off the air here. I just want to make a quick couple announcements. We're going to get out of here. Don't forget that next Sunday at 6:00 on this channel we have Merrick Miami, who will that is the day after he gets his championship match with Alan Clayball. Will he be SWO Unlimited champion when we're interviewing him or not? Tune in and find out.
And
Please
he's actually going to be on pay-per-view tonight, I believe. FWF.
He is. FFW, I believe, pay-per-view on Fight TV.
Yep.
Is it Fight TV?
It is Fight TV.
It's Fight TV, yeah. So Merrick Miami, Matt Cardona.
Yep. Yeah, Fight, folks. Go check that one out.
Yeah, fight. Check out Fight TV. Merrick Miami's going to be on pay-per-view. That's pretty cool. So next Sunday at 6:00, we got Merrick Miami. Please share our videos, like our videos, share out our YouTube channel, and subscribe if you have not to our YouTube channel. Also go to our Facebook page and also like our page. You can also join our Around the Turnbuckle group to get whatever we're doing. We always post whatever we're doing up there and whatever interviews we're going to have in the future.
And a lot of flyers and stuff for local independent wrestling that might be near you. It's not just about us. It's a way for you guys to kind of figure out if there's wrestling.
So if you want to know what wrestling's in your area, come check us out, and we try to let you know what's in the area. Speaking of in the area, Seven Valleys, October the 15th. This man right here and Greg the Mechanic Man will get a shot at the Tag Team Championships of SWO in a gauntlet match. Tickets are $20 at the door. Have a great time. Bring the family. It's a great venue. They have a concession stand. The wrestlers come out and greet you during the intermission. You have a great time. Also dress up and possibly win a gift card for Amazon. Yeah, an Amazon gift card. If you dress up, it's their Halloween show this month in October.
I think there's prizes down to what, 4th place or 5th
Something
place?
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, lots of chances to win something.
Come and enjoy some great wrestling in Seven Valleys, PA, and you will be locked into that championship match. Merrick Miami and Alan Clayball, the tag match with Tom Mitchell here and Greg the Mechanic Manuel, the ladder match with Wolfman and Ken Andrews, among other, the casket match, and we could go on and on and on, but don't miss it. It's going to be a great event, and Tom Mitchell is going to be a big part of that. Professor, you got any parting gifts?
Thank you for those questions, Tom. Really insightful. Thank you for coming on here and sharing with us. As like I say, you've got the plan laid out, and I have a good feeling that, you're going to be one of those guys that we're going to be looking back in another 100 episodes or so and being like, remember when we had that Tom Mitchell on?
Yeah.
And now he's on national television every day. And we had him when?
Yeah. Right. And Tom, if you have an open invitation to come back anytime you want, 3 months down the road, 6 months down the road, a year down the road, whatever. And heck, drag that tag team partner of yours too, because God knows we've tried to have him on a few times. And God knows he's had some life events to get in the way, marriage and kids and stuff like that. Whatever.
Yeah,
whatever. Whatever. I'm talking to you, Greg the Mechanic Manual.
Distractions.
Yeah, that's very.
So if you guys capture the tag title, sure, drag him on here, please.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I'll talk to him. Because, I had a bunch of fun tonight, guys. Seriously, thank you so much for having me, and congrats on 200. That's a huge accomplishment. You guys should be very proud of.
Oh, we
Love
are,
it, brother. Thank you very much. All right, we're gonna get out of here for Smooth Tom Mitchell and the Professor. I'm the Big Alboski. This is Around the Turnbuckle. We'll see you guys next Sunday.
You think you know me?